Honorable Kalangula.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. I hereby give notice that on Thursday, the 3rd of June 2025, I shall ask the Minister of Works and Transport, Honorable Bacon Ekundi, the following questions. I rise to ask and speak on behalf of many qualified yet unemployed engineers, architects, quantity surveyors, and their counterpart technicians in this country, young and old, whose skills remain underutilized and whose patriotism has been betrayed by a government that consistently places foreign professionals above its own citizens. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Works and Transport under the current national budget has allocated 275 million Namibian dollars for feasibility studies, design and supervision services that can primarily be offered by professional Namibians. However, history shows us that when it comes to hiring and rewarding local professionals, these ministries and others often fail to prioritize our own people. Let us revisit the facts. Background recap. Honorable Minister, on 16 May 2012, the then Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Works and Transport, who was acting on behalf of the government, signed a memorandum of understanding with Zimbabwe to import Zimbabwean expatriates, engineers, architects, and quantity surveyors to work to the Works and Transport Ministry in Namibia. The justification at the time was that these expatriates would train Namibians. This turned out to be a myth. Most of these so-called professionals were either fresh graduates or not even registerable with our regulatory bodies, such as the Engineering Council of Namibia, ECN, and the Namibia Council for Architects and Quantity Surveyors. The Zimbabwean expatriates were then exempted from professional registration as per Gazette number 6285 of 13 April 2017. These expatriate professionals earned double the salary of Namibians with the same level of qualifications and had their accommodation in affluent areas paid by the government, received vehicle allowance when Namibians did not, and were treated like VIPs whose water and electricity were the Namibian government's responsibility. While Namibian professionals were kept on one-year contract, even earning less than 20,000 per month and denied even the dignity of permanent employment. This abuse persisted until the expatriates left around 2019-2020 with 0 Namibians trained, and the ministry quietly buried the program under significant public pressure. Honorable Speaker, today history is repeating itself, this time Cuban expatriates on the way, under yet another opaque arrangement, while many Namibian engineers, architects and quantity surveyors remain unemployed and underemployed. The number of engineers, architects and quantity surveyors in Namibia is per record of the Engineering Council of Namibia, Institute of Namibian Quantity Surveyors, and Namibia Council of Architects and Quantity Surveyors are as follows. Professional registered members. Institute currently boasts 90 fully qualified quantity surveyors who are registered with this council, allowing them to cooperate with the scope and work defined by that act. Members in training are 65, working towards professional registration as quantity surveyors in training under the supervision under that institution. Additional members are affiliated with that institution as well, working with contracting environments and others in process of registering with that institution. Student members are 15 at NASTS, with whom strong collaboration is maintained and mentorship knowledge sharing is initiated. Total membership are therefore 197 active members, including professional members, trainees, student members, and live members as detailed above. Registered quantity surveyors practices. These are the practices. There are 36 registered quantity surveyors practices in Namibia. There are 2 more in process of establishment, bringing the total to 38. Namibia Council of Architects and Quantity Surveyors has 140 registered architects and has 42 architects in training. The Engineering Council has a total of over 2,015 qualified and registered Namibian engineers, some members, excluding non-members, struggling to pay membership due to unemployment. Honorable Minister, as I come to the question, Honorable Minister has declared in Parliament that Namibians should be prioritized in project awards. It is imperative to apply the same principle when it comes to hiring professionals in the ministry. Ultimately, this may also serve as a reminder on who we are all serving. Namibian professionals should be prioritized. Honorable Minister, it is based on this background that I now add to ask the following questions. How many Namibian professionals are currently employed by the Ministry of Works and Transport in engineering, architecture, quantity surveying roles, along with how many are leaving annually due to poor pay and job insecurity? Why does the ministry continue to pursue foreign technical cooperation agreements such as the new Cuban agreement when this government has spent millions training its own professionals, many of whom are currently unemployed or working outside their fields? What incentives are in place to retain Namibian professionals in government, and why has the government not addressed the core issue, namely that professionals in government are underpaid and therefore government is constantly failing to convince them to stay in government? Number 4, has the ministry conducted a labor market study or skills audit to determine how many unemployed built environment professionals exist in Namibia before deciding to bring in foreign professionals again? Number 5, what are the remuneration packages planned for the Cuban professionals, and will they receive accommodation, vehicle allowance, and other benefits as was the case with the Zimbabwean expatriates? And since clearly this government deems it essential, and correctly so, to employ technical professionals to manage mostly its capital projects, what is difficult for the government to offer to Namibian professionals the same attractive packages it always so proudly gives to expatriates in order to retain them? Can the Honorable Minister table a full memorandum of understanding or agreement with Cuba in this House in the interest of transparency and public accountability, if any? Number 7, and second last question. Does the ministry have an understudy program in place to ensure that any expatriate agreement includes skill transfer to Namibians? Number 8, what is the ministry's plan to create permanent, well-remunerated positions for Namibian professionals so that our engineers and designers no longer have to flee to parastatals, the private sector, or abroad just to earn a dignified living when there is clearly work to be done in government? Honorable Speaker, the Namibian child has not failed this country, the system has failed them. We cannot afford to keep investing millions to retain engineers, architects, technicians, only to send them to the street while at the same time importing professionals from abroad. This House must demand accountability not only for money spent, but for the dreams deferred and skills wasted and the injustices repeated. It's time for an era, one where Namibians are prioritized in practice, not just in policy. As a shadow minister over the ministry considered to be the technical arm of government, I intend to make it my primary goal to vigorously hold this ministry to absolute account on matters involving these very important technical professions. I so submit, Honorable.
Table the